Godspeed. I know, that's a really cool truck. But you know what? I can't start the show off here. I got to start back at the start, so here we go. So this is kind of where the story began for me anyways. This old 56, it sat right here for probably the first 17 or 18 years of my life. And a few years ago, we decided just to pull it out of here. And initially, my brother was going to fix this truck up, but then he got busy with some other projects or something, and it kind of got pushed to the wayside. So then last year, my dad turned 56, and for a few more months, he still will be. So you know what? I figured he's 56. He got a year 56 going. I mean, that's a good enough excuse for me anyways. So that's kind of where I started off with this project anyways. So for the longest time, this old Ford, this old Mercury, and the 56 all sat right here in this old barn.
We have to get it built by next weekend or we're going to lose the shop.
Check out this cool footage of the old 56 getting pulled out of here. Technically, it's unearthing a barn find, even though if it was never really lost, how can it be a barn find? But there you go. Hey. Aw. Need a stick. Everybody loves a 56 Ford until they have to work on it with that little hood opening. So I just put a battery in this old truck. We'll just see if he cranks over, and then after that I guess we'll check for a spark. Yay! Well, we had sparks, so let's put a little fuel down this carb and see if we make any sounds. This carb's pretty gummed up, I know, but that never hurts to just give it a shot, right?
Oh, shit. She's full.
Yeah.
I love you, old Holly, but I think you're the problem.
That's one way to find oil pressure. That carburetor is very much so gummed up. It's got all that residue from sitting for the last 30 years probably. So to make that 56 run, we need to get a carburetor that isn't so gummed up. So we're going to steal one off of this old blue truck. But of course, before we do that, we got to go have some fun with it. So let's go do some donuts and drive it down the road a little bit. Alright, let's seal a carburetor. Wow. Well, that cute little Holly's our issue, so we're just going to pull them off and replace them with another carb that'll bolt on there. We got a little Carter off another truck, so we'll see if that helps us out. And if not, then I guess we'll figure something else out. And there we go. So dig this. That is the spacer slash seal that was on the bottom of the old Holly carburetor that was on this truck. This is a whole bunch of plies. You got a whole bunch of these little shims of plies all holding together and they're holding each other together. They were anyways, with that awesome little staple on either end. They had one. I don't know if that was original or if someone did that along the way, but there you go. That's how she looks anyways. So we got to get this oil filter to quit leaking on us so much. So this old engine would have had a canister style oil filter on it, but this thing has an adapter on it as well. So that allows you to put a regular modern style oil filter on there. And my suspicion is that is leaking. When you look at the footage, that's where it's leaking around, not around the filter itself. So we're going to whip that off and see what we can find out about it. And to ensure that this old oil filter adapter will actually seal up against the block, we're just going to cut a seal out of this old piece of inner tube to make it actually seal up. So I did try using silicone to actually seal up this plate to the block, and that didn't end up working out. But the main advantage to using this inner tube seal is because it's already a one-piece deal, you don't have to worry about it curing before you try to fire the truck up. I think this was perhaps part of the original canister style filter. Either way, I don't see a point to it now. I'm going to put on just the main stouter tin piece with the seal, put it back together. I believe that should fix our issue. Woohoo! Yeah! Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is a running 223. Check that out. I just disconnected it and let it just run out of fuel first, but that's cool. It's been a long time since that thing ran. We're not leaking or nothing. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Woo! She is running, folks. There she goes. Out of fuel. Here's a quick recap on the things that I had to do to get this truck ready to run and drive. These two rods you can see that are connected there, I had to reinstall those, and there's a 50-50 chance that I got those on the right ends, so we'll see about that. There's also that rod just further down there that I just put on, and it's also that's the clutch linkage that we needed. So that's reinstalled. We have our rice grips holding that flapper valve open, or not flapper valve, that little butterfly valve open in the exhaust. We also have a throttle pedal hooked up. It's very sketchy and homemade, and that's literally the definition right there of a shoestring budget. So I just hooked that up. He comes up there, goes through the firewall, and that should work for our throttle just for the meantime. This carburetor's not in its permanent position, and we're likely going to rebuild one of those Hollies and get it in there. So hopefully this is enough to get this truck to at least drive around a little bit. I also got the drive shaft installed right there. I tell you, this project's a lot like an Easter egg hunt. So I'm looking around in the truck, and here you look around long enough and you'll find the parts you're looking for. We got an old crappy belt that we'll use for the meantime. We got a fan and we got a pulley, so we got enough to put that back together anyways. And topped off the fluids, and so far it hasn't leaked out anything. I did have to replace, actually, though, this one heater hose that's just looped off there. He did leak, so I had to replace him. But these other really crusty old guys, they have not yet leaked. Take your bets now. Does that hose last more than 5 seconds when it's actually up to heat? And yes, by the way, I did clean out the radiator to give the truck its best shot at cooling properly. Well, I had hoped to get this thing to drive before he got home, but it looks like the old man is going to get to watch his truck go driving for the first time in like 30 years, so here he comes. I guess he gets to watch it too. This should be the first run with this truck. We'll see what she does. throttle. Alright, my throttle quit, but I got the idle adjusted high, so we're going to try again. Yeah, we're running! You're driving this truck. I can't adjust the throttle, but we're driving! By the way, buddy, you and all your buddies are fired because there was a ton of mice in that old truck. So that's the old throttle linkage. That was the factory one on the 56. And the reason we have to replace it is it's not supposed to be two-piece. How good is a parts truck if you can't even use the throttle out of it? Friggin' drive-by wire. As soon as you press on the brake, you're going to put the gas pedal down. I ended up taking the linkage, or a couple pieces of linkage off a couple of different trucks. I took a rod off of a Dodge and a Ford, and I took a piece that goes through the firewall off of a Ford and kind of cobbled them all together, and that ended up working. Someone got my board all muddy, and the tracks lead this way. Did you mud up my board? I think it was you. Look at that. I can make this truck move. At least I can make the gauge say it moves. I love trucks that have space to actually put fluid in the transmission like that. Do you see that? I unearthed some wrenches. Look at that. Yeah. We are driving this old can on the road. We have an emergency brake. I can shut the truck off from the inside. I got a shifter that works. What more can you possibly need than that? Woohoo! Despite my best efforts, the little 223 didn't have enough jam to kick the tires over much on the snow. It did a little bit, but here I tried to do some donuts and it really just doesn't have the power, especially with the 3 on the tree and having no posi in the rear. Well, it puts a smile on my face to see this truck drive around after 33 years, I tell you what. This thing has not driven in this century, and with that bit of work that we did, it actually has moved under its own power for the first time in 33 years. Here he is, driving his old truck again. And for those of you that do not believe this truck has air conditioning, look at this lever right here. When you push it forward like so, you open up the high-tech AC from 1956 directly to you. Look at that. Bet you still operates and you don't have to charge up Freon or nothing. And that is the story of the world's quietest open header 223 ever. I'll give you a baseline on what a wide open header is supposed to sound like. This is a 460. This is Jason Deal signing off, reminding you not to let your dreams of perfection get in the way of having a good time with your old trucks. Until next time, Godspeed.